Beautiful as Montbouton was, I think it was also a really tough experience, especially the first night. I didn't have a flashlight, unfortunately, and I was trying to get myself organized by candlelight, and I was trying to figure out how I would sleep. The bed was a little too short, so I had to sleep diagonally. I was just really taking in the fact that I'm sleeping in a house that has so many holes and that cockroaches were crawling in and out of the walls. Um, yeah, so that was the first night was really tough, and I couldn't see how I'd do another 2 nights, but in the end it flew by, and I wish I'd stayed longer.
I think even when we were on Montbouton, seeing all the work and the amount of things that the
Yeah.
people who live there are able to do with so little, and also how much they're willing to do. For instance, some of the people on Montbouton were willing to hike up and down, all the way
Yeah.
back down to Daubon, where our trip started, which was a good 4 hour hike
Yeah.
for us, 5 hour hike for us. And then also the most challenging thing I've probably ever done physically was carrying bamboo,
Yeah.
2 sticks of bamboo uphill for maybe a quarter of a mile so we could help them build the latrine.
Yeah.
But while we all struggled with it and were challenged and everything and did it, uh,
It's things that like I remember I did it with you, and I probably never felt that tired, I think, in my life. But
Right.
like people there are able to do, like on a daily basis.
We had
or like
Exactly.
kids maybe seven,
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
8, 9 years old, helping us on hikes,
Yeah.
making sure they were standing on the side of the mountain, helping us over,
Barefoot.
a little ledge with one hand.
Yeah.
So it was really amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think for me, on a different note, the toughest thing during the trip was when we went to one of the schools and we handed out, some soccer shorts and shirts and stuff. And, we came with as much as we could, but we only had, X amount of each size and that. And so we did our best to kind of like divvy it up so that the younger kids would get the smaller sizes and everything. But in the end, there were a few kids that ended up getting shirts that were too big or shorts that were too big and stuff. And I think the hardest thing for me was just like not having more to give them, and like seeing these kids that were, like really disappointed because they wouldn't be able to actually wear all these things that like all their friends did. But
or the fact
I
that
th-
we couldn't give them more
Yeah,
than what
yeah,
they wanted
exactly.
to
Yeah.
for their family, brothers,
Yeah.
sisters who weren't in class that day
Yeah.
or weren't in the same class,
Yeah.
and we just didn't have enough stuff, and that
I
was really tough.
I think in general, one of the hardest things was saying no to people,
Mhm.
especially in the city,
That's true.
where people would come up to your car and beg you to sell them something or beg you
Mhm.
for a few coins, and you just have to you have to say no,
Yeah.
and that was really tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to go off of saying no, to say goodbye to these people
Yeah.
that, both on Montbouton and in the city, that these kids and adults sometimes too, that kind of become attached to you because you influence them, because you provide them with things, and because
And you're an opportunity for
Right.
them,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
but also just kind of friendship, relationship type
Yeah.
thing. These people that don't want to see you go because they've never, experienced some of the things we helped them
Yeah.
experience. And so that was really tough, was to say goodbye and tell these kids we weren't going to stay at their school and play soccer with them,
Mhm.
or we weren't going to stay on Montbouton, that we had to go down. So things
Yeah.
like that were really tough. To say goodbye is always hard.
Yeah.